WBF Rochester, the sports leader. 95.7 FM and AM 950. The Fan, Rochester, an Odyssey sports station.
It's time to start the show and talk about the sports we saw. Inside jokes and takes from Danger and Battaglia. Bills and the Sabres and the Amherst. Who gave a microphone to these jerks? Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. With Danger and Battaglia.
A very good afternoon to you. Welcome on in the Sports Bar with Danger and Battaglia on the air and listening. We thank you for listening at 95.7 FM, AM 950. You can find us in the free-to-download Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps. Also streaming live on our YouTube channel and Twitch at The Fan Rochester. I'm Danger. That's Battaglia.
I had no idea until today, maybe a little late to this, and since you're with 98PXY and other stations like that, managing them, what today is?
Friday.
The 13th of February.
Friday the 13th. Should be wearing black.
It's also Galentine's Day. Have you heard of this?
Oh, Galentine's Day.
Galentine's Day.
So my daughter went with some friends last weekend, and they called it Galentine's Day. Is it a specific day, or is it just a theme? Like, we all want to get together and eat chocolate and
right.
dance around candles.
Supposedly, Galentine's Day is on February 13th.
Ah.
And the executive producer told me, because normally I'm kind of working hockey right around now, and this is an odd weekend in RIT. They're off. She hit me with, hey, I'm doing a big thing. I got everybody to move Galentine's Day to next Friday when you're working, so we can spend tonight and tomorrow together. I'm like, wait, back up. What? Galentine's Day, what is this? Danger, to me, it's just an excuse for, get around and drink and gossip and do whatever you're going to do.
Yeah, hey, no problem with it whatsoever. It's not a new concept to me. My wife has never participated. I think it's a younger generation thing. I think it's just a reason for friends to get together, girlfriends to get together. Like you said, have a couple cocktails, gossip, watch shows, dance around scented candles, have a good cry, maybe. I don't know. My daughter went out with her friends, or met up with her friends at one of their houses a couple of weekends. I think it was last weekend, I think. And she had a blast. But it's nothing my wife has ever said, hey, we're going to get together. Me and the girls are getting together for Galentine's. Never heard that before. And I think also a reminder, gentlemen, don't go with the CVS flowers. Don't go cheap. There is an expectation. And yes, it is a holiday where we are expected to do something. Don't just go through the day and expect that everything's going to be. Do something nice. Be thoughtful. Surprise them. Or at least deliver on expectation. And the expectation is you're going to get them something.
Yeah, and if she's not into sports, do you really need to watch U.S.-Denmark tomorrow at 3 o'clock?
Kind of need to watch that, Gina. I need to find a way to,
It's almost like the Olympic Committee's like, we're not going to put U.S. against Sweden or Canada.
If you think that's bad, it's just foreplay for next Valentine's Day.
Oh, you're not kidding. And next Valentine's Day, we're going to have to come up with a strategy here, but next Valentine's Day is Super Bowl Sunday.
Yes.
First time ever we've had the two. And even better,
what we've always wanted.
President's Day the following day.
The 3-day weekend around the Super Bowl.
Wow.
And the 18-game schedule will eventually get us there more frequently. But even with a 17-game schedule, it happens on occasion. And next year will be that occasion where that fog that we go through the day after the Super Bowl, the chatter about the commercials or the halftime show or the game itself, God forbid. Yeah, Monday is kind of a wasted day as far as productivity is concerned. And that's assuming that you actually go into work and you're not working remotely or virtually the way a lot of people in 2026 do. But I'll take that extra day. And by the way, we're going into a 3-day weekend, President's Weekend, this weekend. I'm kind of looking forward to the day off on Monday.
This comes at a price, though, where we'll enjoy it this time next year, and the price is opening day, the opening Sunday, week 1 for the NFL, September 13th. Labor Day comes the latest it possibly can on Monday, September the 7th. Which, all right, the NFL recognizing, all right, if there's ever an opportunity to try something different, this would be the year. Because by the time the 7th and 8th comes around, they're like, oh my gosh, give me football. And look, it's okay, too, that we've got this appetite for college football, and I haven't looked at the schedule yet for some of these teams, but we'll have some good matchups, I'm sure, Labor Day weekend, and that's always, I like college football having the spotlight on Labor Day weekend. But my gosh, September 13th for the opening Sunday? That is ridiculous. Well, NFL Today announcing, we have these two teams, the Rams and the Niners, that are going to go to Australia. And what better way to get everybody excited about this? And they didn't say which day. We are either going to put this on the Wednesday or the Thursday before the start of the NFL season. Now, usually the Thursday is reserved for, hey, this is the defending Super Bowl champion. Here are the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah. Well, that's going to be something that I'm sure they're debating in Seattle. What would we rather have? Would we rather have Wednesday night? Would we have Thursday night? If you're wondering, wait a second, how does that actually time out? Well, in Melbourne, noon their time on Thursday would be 8 p.m. Eastern for us on a Wednesday.
Oh.
So 8 p.m. Eastern Wednesday, that will be the first game. Whether that's going to be the Seattle game or do they push back the Australia game to the Thursday?
I guess my perfect world scenario for this, just for the sake of continuity, I think you have to have your kickoff game first. It's not a kickoff game if you're playing a game in Australia. Then that's your kickoff game. But the kickoff game should be reserved for Seattle, and I would love a rematch. Give me Seattle, New England on that Wednesday. Then give me the Australia game on Thursday at 8 o'clock in primetime. And then follow that up with the Brazil game on Friday.
I hear you, but I see, as you like to say, where the puck is headed on this stuff. Do you think Australia is going to be the furthest reach here? We'll have an NFL game someday in China.
Sure.
Or Tokyo or wherever. And you're going to need the extra time to come back. And I would point, of all things, to Major League Baseball. And it takes some getting adjusted to, right? And I always think baseball, it's really, really strange that, hey, here are the Dodgers and Padres going over to South Korea, and they play a couple games that actually count in the standings, and now they're going to come back to Arizona and play another week of spring training, which, what are we doing here? Why are we even bothering with that? You just started the season. Baseball has done this. Other leagues will do this where they will start their season overseas just for the logistics point of view. And if it ends up being the first game, Rams and Niners, just because they want to give those teams an extra day, making sure they're not at a disadvantage for week 2, I'm totally fine with that.
Oh, yeah, but you think the NFL cares about that extra day. They don't care about that extra day. They don't care. They want to keep everything. I think they would want to keep everything status quo. In fact, the idea that they would move the kickoff from a Thursday to a Wednesday feels like a stretch, except when you factor in, it just gives them more of a share of the week. They have that entire week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Who has the Thursday night package?
That's NBC.
Right. Thursday night is typically the most viewed night in television. So you would have to have NBC check off on this, too. Like, hey, we're going to move your game to Wednesday. Nobody said anything like, hey, who's actually going to have this game in Australia?
I think that's one of the games that would be up for bid, right?
Ah, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. So maybe I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. Would you really want your opening game on a Wednesday on Netflix or on YouTube? Or how would that all look? But that's where it's going to be,
that
right?
would be a rough look for NBC if you were promised them the first game of the season and you gave it to a new streamer on a Wednesday night in Australia. That would be a rough look for the NFL.
I would think the NFL wants all eyeballs on the first game. Let's break a record. Let's have double-digit growth, as they say.
Yeah. Oh, they have to have that double-digit growth. Forget it. But that first week will be glorious if you factor in, it'd be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, college football. Sunday, your full slate of week 1 games. Man, that's what we have to look forward to. It's too far away.
Well, it's. I think we figured this out, right? And I'm going to side with you on this. I don't think it's set in stone, but let's say Seahawks against Team X on Wednesday night. That's your kickoff, and then you go down under 8 p.m. Eastern, where you're going to be looking at midday football for Rams and 49ers, and then Friday night, Cowboys. And you're wondering, like, how do they get away with that? Remember, like the rules, the law, where, hey, you don't want to be competing against high school, that only applies to you're in the borders of the United States.
Yeah.
NFL can go wherever they want to on a Friday night.
Convenient.
Yeah.
Very convenient. And further proof that the NFL will get what they want, how they want it, when they want it. Something that we looked forward to every year, the Players Association team report cards going the way of the dodo. Those have been wiped from the record, the NFL winning its grievance against the NFLPA. Every year, the PA would put out their annual team report cards. The Jets got an F, and Woody Johnson was the guy behind all of this. Like, these report cards are fraudulent. They're bogus. Why would we allow this? File a grievance. They file a grievance. If I'm the NFLPA, and you know that at some point they're going to come to you and say, we want an 18th game, this becomes something I would say absolutely has to be a bargaining chip. You want an 18th game? We want to be able to hold these guys accountable. Nobody holds NFL owners accountable. Nobody.
Danger. The NFL owners would gladly, okay, that's all it's going to take. Great, you can have that back.
They should absolutely give it back.
Yeah, I like it's going to be, once you had that leadership change at the NFLPA, I don't know if it's going to be, the doomsday of baseball. 2027. And we'll talk to our buddy Jim Riley coming up here. If you're a baseball fan, you want to stick around. I do think, though, that there's going to be some issues. I don't think this is going to be an easy-peasy negotiation where the NFL, hey, we want the 18 games. Why are you upset? We're taking away a preseason game. Yeah, because I didn't play in the preseason. It was guys who weren't going to be in the league anyways. Okay, well, now your negotiation, can we have a bigger piece of the pie? Can we have – ultimately, that's what it's going to come down to. Do the owners really want to give up a bigger percentage? Or how would that look? What would entice players to do that? I would also point to this. Like, will the NFL, by the time that negotiation comes around, dangle expansion? You had just kind of a little drop there from Roger Goodell's Super Bowl week. But he's not talking about San Antonio or Toronto. He doesn't care about that. They're signing up for the big enchilada danger. They want to go to London. They want to go to Madrid. If you can promise more jobs. Also, maybe the shortcut, if they're not ready for that, all right, instead of a 53-man roster, will you make it 54?
Do you think it matters that when you talk about expansion, there are not enough quarterbacks to justify expanding beyond the 32 teams you already have? You just don't have it. The quality, and maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe they don't even care about the quality of play. Maybe they're totally fine with trotting out a spare, but like when injuries happen, hell, even when injuries don't happen, when you start the season, there aren't 32 starting caliber quarterbacks in the NFL. Spencer Rattler, Geno Smith, guys that shouldn't be starting games week 1, and Justin Fields. And you're going to add more teams and dilute that position even more. I just think the quality of play is going to suffer because of that. The haves and the have-nots will be even more separated. I don't know that it matters. It might not matter. And ultimately, if they're making money, who cares, right? But if you're talking about, let's add 4 more teams, where are you going to find 4 more competent quarterbacks or 4 more good head coaches? I mean, you see some of the names that are being batting about for offensive and defense coordinators, the teams that have yet to fill out their coaching staff. You're like, who are these guys? I don't know. I mean, everybody gets a first shot, but the pool is it's a recycled pool. It's just the same guys going all over the place all the time. We'll get to the Bills coaching staff here in a little bit.
I think the people don't tune in for the coaches. They tune in for the quarterbacks. And your point is well taken, but we were saying this like 10 years ago, probably 20 years ago. Like, there's going to be other guys that will pop up. And as long as your marquee televised matchups are fine, then the hope that you can find one of those quarterbacks and, right here for your we didn't even talk expansion fee. Like, Seattle goes for $10 billion. Guess what the expansion fee is going to be?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Ooh,
You'll get to that number.
I'm a little distracted.
As we all should be.
Yeah, it's now the medal round, quarterfinals, United States women.
Can't lose.
Hey.
Oh, who are we playing? Oh, yeah. You know they're going to give them a battle because they're right now, yeah.
Yeah, Lucinda and Angela.
I can tell you right now, in my neighborhood, ratings for the Olympics are through the roof. I mean, they're all watching the Paisans, the ladies, the Italian women against Team USA.
Montreal, Calgary, Hamilton, California, Massachusetts. Why am I rattling it off? They just threw up this graphic, Team Italy. Like, these are like, yeah, they're like, wow, we are really bending the rules here, right? It's like how Mike Piazza one time, the World Baseball Classic. Hey, you're on Team Italy.
Name ends in a vowel. You're on Team Italy. Congratulations. That's it. That's all you need. We'll keep tabs on this matchup here. It's win or go home moving forward for Team USA, but the women have just been an absolute wagon on a tear. They've been dominant so far through this Olympic tournament, and we'll continue to monitor Team USA versus Italy in women's hockey.
Watching this right now, U.S. is going on a power play. It's because you really can't check in women's hockey. That's only testing their boundaries there. So.
Love it. You mentioned it. We've got a great show. Jim Riley, Ball Cap Sports. We'll talk pitchers and catchers here, and we'll get a little 2026 MLB preview from Riley, and maybe it's the last time we're doing a preview for the Major League Baseball season in a while, as we all kind of like hold our breath that there isn't a stoppage in 2027, but all signs seem to point towards one. Don Stevens, the Hall of Famer, voice of the Rochester Americans, also stopping by this afternoon. He'll be in the sports bar at 4:25.
He's actually on the call tomorrow night. His last trip ever to Utica. So he's going to make the call, the drive out there.
Utica going to do something classy for him?
I asked him that, and he said, I'd rather have cash.
All right, Utica, you know the way to the man's heart.
Just hand him here's an
He's
envelope.
a legend. Scratch him out a check. Send him on his way.
Give him some meal money.
Yeah.
That would actually be kind of funny. Like, hey, you know what? We carved out the meal money here. Congratulations, Don. Here's $40 for
okay,
it tonight.
just pay him a gift card. The next time you're in Utica, the destination everybody in New York goes to, Utica. The next time you're in Utica, dine at this establishment. On us, Don. Thanks for your years of service. Join us on the Good Smoke Barbecue and Pub Wingman line at 866-4FAN. Award-winning barbecue from Good Smoke Barbecue and Pub, 135 West Commercial Street in East Rochester. GoodSmokeBBQ.com.
There is actually going to be somebody on the Buffalo Bills coaching staff that has head coaching experience, and it's a fun trivia question. Who's the only coach in NFL history that's 0-2 in Super Bowls but lost with two different teams?
So immediately when you asked me this earlier before we got on the air, I'm right away, Dan Reeves. I'm like, wait a minute.
He lost more than one in Denver.
0-2, like he lost more than twice. So it took me a second, and you forget about John Fox. I forgot. I'm a Bears fan, and I forgot about John
Fox, that Carolina team. No, this is way back. So if you're saying, oh, Carolina connection, no. That was what, 03? That's the Janet Jackson Super Bowl. Jake Delhomme, right? And that's Brady's second, I think it was. Very entertaining game, by the way. Like Mushin Muhammad and everybody running all over the place. I mean, it was a fun game that New England ended up winning. So he was the head coach in Carolina from 02 to 2010. Denver, 2011-2014. His final game in Denver, Super Bowl. They got clocked by Seattle. That was an old-fashioned Super Bowl, like, oh, my gosh, turning the ball over, the one at MetLife. And then I don't remember a damn thing. He coached your Bears?
He did. He was the coach of the Bears when they drafted Mitch Trubisky, my friend. And famously, he had no idea that they were drafting Mitch Trubisky or trading up to. He had no idea.
Wow.
They had just signed. Remember, they had signed free agent quarterback Mike Glennon, the neck. Mike Glennon was brought in, presumably to be the starter under John Fox. And then the draft comes. and they move up in the draft, trade with San Francisco.
One slot.
They move up one slot to pick Mitch Trubisky, and John Fox has no idea. And now he, as the head coach, has to navigate. And this is how sloppy the Bears were run. And I want to say this is the Ryan Poles. Not Ryan Poles. This is the the guy that just got let go from Atlanta. He came from the Saints. It's his name is escaping me. He was bad.
Loomis?
It was another Ryan.
Okay.
Ryan Bates. Ryan Bates? No.
No, that's the offensive lineman.
No. It'll come to me or it won't. But he was apparently so uncommunicative with his head coach. Poor Mike Glennon, he's at like a draft party for the team, like a team-sponsored draft party.
I remember this now, yeah.
And everybody's there, and they're celebrating, and it's draft night, and Glennon is the presumed starter for this team. And unbeknownst to the head coach or anybody else, they move up one slot with the Niners in the draft to select Mitch Trubisky.
Cut away to Mike Glennon.
And you cut away to Mike Glennon, and the guy is kind of, he's dumbfounded. He has no idea what just happened. Fox has no idea what's happened. That last year with Fox, when he had Glennon and Trubisky, was a failure. And Fox is out, and they bring in Matt Nagy to, hey, get something out of Mitch Trubisky, Nagy. You're our guy. You can do it from what you did in Kansas City. But my memory of Fox, I mean, I don't have a memory of Fox as the Bears head coach. He was a 0 as the Bears head coach the last time he was a head coach. Now, he hasn't been out of the league since then. He was with the Lions in 2023 as a senior defensive assistant. And he's 71, man. I mean, like, he's a consultant at best, is he not? He's somebody who can bounce things off of, or he can offer an opinion. Mm-hmm. But this isn't a guy that's going to be making a lot of, I wouldn't say making a lot of decisions when it comes to what this team is going to look like or do. It's a nice name to add to the coaching staff, I suppose. But my lasting memory of John Fox was so disconnected that he didn't know that his team was about to draft their franchise quarterback.
Fox, 71 years old. He just has the title of senior assistant. Doesn't say offense, doesn't say defense. He was a defensive assistant with the Colts in 22, the Lions in 23. Hasn't been in football the last 2 years. So what is he? He's just a consultant here, right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's all.
That's it. So other announcements as they rolled out Joe Brady's first coaching staff. Rob Boris, who we call Junior Jimmy Stupinski. Rob Boris gets a promotion, run game coordinator, along with tight ends coach. We knew he was staying on board, but he gets the promotion as well. Joe Dana promoted to secondary coach. DJ Magnus has been promoted to assistant receivers coach. Jason Rebrovich promoted to senior defensive assistant. Kyle Shermer, assistant quarterbacks coach. Alvin Vaughn, defensive assistant. And you still have the holdovers from McDermott's staff, some guys that are sticking around. Assistant offensive line coach Austin Gund, passing game specialist, game management coach Mark Lubick, running backs coach Kelly Skipper we knew about, assistant special teams coach Turner West, offensive assistant Millie Wilson, Terrence Johnson, defensive line coach we knew about, John Igararu. Bobby April 3rd, outside linebackers coach Jay Valai, corners coach Craig Robertson, defensive quality control coach Pat Meyer, offensive line, Bo Hardigree, your quarterbacks coach, Drew Terrell, your receivers coach, and of course Pete Carmichael at OC, Jim Leonard at DC, Jeff Rogers, your special teams coordinator, your Buffalo Bills 2026 coaching staff.
Pollster Peter put this up. Will the U.S.-Denmark Olympic game affect your Valentine's Day plans? Yes, no.
Yes. Yeah, it's on. I'm watching it. It's on, even if it's on in the background, I'm watching it.
Dude, it's Denmark. Something's really wrong if you lose to Denmark.
Yeah, I know.
It's not the gold medal game.
You're always watching to see the car wreck. If it happens, you get to see it, you could say, wow, remember that time? I'm not rooting for it to happen.
Well, what is the expectation with Sandy? Is she expecting something?
I'll tell you exactly what the expectation is, okay? I mentioned earlier this week, maybe I'm a sucker, but I said, you know what? Let's go furniture shopping. Let's drive to IKEA, the new one in Syracuse, and we need to furnish the sunroom project that never ends. And they were all excited about that. But my oldest daughter, for Christmas, Sandy gave her a jar just labeled Adventures, and inside of it is just like a bunch of little pieces of paper, and you pull a piece of paper, and it's an adventure that we go on. And she pulled a piece of paper, said, "Go bowling." And I'm like, okay, well, we're going to go bowling on Valentine's Day. We're going to go to Radio Social and do some bowling, have some dinner, have some fun, all of us together. And I think for Sandy, for my wife, she would much rather do that, all of us together, than the romantic dinner, just her and I. And we did that last weekend. We kind of went out last weekend. We would rarely go out to have dinner together, and we did that last weekend and had a good time. But we'll be bowling for Valentine's. We got in and we got a reserved a lane, and we'll have some fun doing that.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get to Jim Riley here, bud.
Let's talk some Major League Baseball.
I'm
prepared to give Jim my prediction for the 2026 LA Dodgers as well. We'll share that with him. Jim Riley, Ballcap Sports, our guest next on The Fan Rochester.
sports leader, The Fan Rochester.
The Fan Rochester Sports Update.
Bills announce their full coaching staff. One interesting name here. That's former Panthers, Broncos, and Bears head coach John Fox. Fox will serve as a senior assistant. He's 71 years old. At the Olympics, quarterfinal action, the U.S. women taking on Italy. They are scoreless in the first. U.S. right now outshooting Italy 14-2. Amherst home and home begins tomorrow at Utica. Mike Leone on the weekend.
It's going to be a grind the rest of the way in. They're really fast. They got some guys that could really hurt you. They're just, if they could ever find a way to score goals, they're a really dangerous team. And every game here on out is, the intensity is going to get ramped up. So expecting the same tight checking games for the weekend.
We'll talk to the voice of the Amherst Don Stevens next hour. The RIT women taking on Penn State on the road. Gene Battaglia, the sports leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950, The Fan Rochester.
Neat or on the rocks? It's the Sports Bar with Danger and Battaglia on the sports leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950, The Fan Rochester.
We're back in the sports bar. Danger and Battaglia. Pitchers and catchers, Gino. Pitchers and catchers. As the NFL season ends, we have the Olympics to kind of tide us over for a little bit. But if I'm not mistaken, this is the final weekend we will have without baseball until the month of November.
It's correct, Danger. As I want to ask Jim Riley, Ball Cap Sports. Hamate bone, is this just an excuse to get out of spring training for some of these guys, Jim?
I mean, it seems a few of these guys are definitely pulling the hamate bone excuse card. It takes about 6 weeks for the recovery after the surgery, and some of these guys, depending on how they recover, may not miss too much time with the regular season because we start spring training early with the World Baseball Classic. So, plenty of time for Francisco Lindor, Corbin Carroll, Jackson Holliday to all get their surgery in. Now their timing could still be a mess come opening day because they won't have had their reps to get ready. But, they could be back and not miss too much time, at least, fingers crossed for those players and those teams.
Jim, before we get to the serious business of the 2026 season and getting your preview and some of your predictions, I'm willing to share with you, and I shared this yesterday on the air, my 2026 prediction for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Oh, this is good. Yeah.
I predict that the LA Dodgers in 2026 will go 157-5. And I'll even give you the games they'll lose. They'll lose a game to Minnesota. They'll lose a game to the Royals. I'll give the Giants a game against the Dodgers, and they'll lose 2 to the Rockies over the course of the season. Your LA Dodgers, 157-5 in 2026.
That sounds about right. I'll take the over on that. It's amazing. Some of these prediction models that come out with standings and everything, usually those models, because they're not projecting like the ceiling, there's like a percentage off of that. You usually don't see teams with a win projection too far north over 100. But Baseball Prospectus just had their PECOTA season standings projections come out, and they have the Dodgers at 104, which is, it's just a prediction, but it's still remarkable. You usually don't see win totals that high. It's going to be a remarkable year to watch this Dodgers team. They're going to come to your city. They're going to play your team. They're going to probably embrace the evil empire theme. And it's, when they come to your city, it's going to be a battle trying to beat the Dodgers. It'll be a traveling show for sure.
Jim, couple things that are going to be different, although we're familiar with this at the AAA level, but we saw it in spring training last year. ABS is happening in baseball. Yeah. So how do you think this transition happens? I'm sure there will be some some old timer that will hate this, but your thoughts on how this might improve the game, and also kind of explain to us this rule about the stealing signs and coaches having to stay in this box. Was that really a big deal?
I guess it was. No, there's such a big deal being made about stealing signs. I mean, it's been in the game forever. If you can gain an edge because you realize that a pitcher is doing something different with his glove or something, or a base runner is doing something different, if you can gain an edge, you kind of take advantage of it, as long as it is within the rules, right? And that's, I think, where they're going to clamp down is, they have that box for the coaches to stay in. And if you watch a game, if you're at a game, you see that many of the time they're not in that box, and that's where they're supposed to be. So they're going to clamp down on it because there's a big push in the game right now to make sure everything's on the up and up and that nobody is cheating, right? You go back to 2017, you can go back to this season with Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz making money on first pitch ball. So I think the game wants to try to be on the up and up with every little detail they can to not be accused of tipping the scales or cheating outside of the rules of it. But the ABS, your question about that, I am a big fan of this. You guys have seen it at a AAA park. It's quick. It's simple. When you think about how some of the other instant replays, how that sometimes gets drawn out and it takes too long. This is not that. This is the opposite of that for anybody that has not seen it in play. I mean, we saw it in spring training last year, and then it kind of felt weird when it went away. It's like, wait a minute, no, let's just keep going. It worked well in spring training. Now it's back. It's going to be a full season thing. I'm a big proponent. I think any old school fans, I could see the side where, there's almost an element to the umpire, the home plate umpire specifically having control over the strike zone. It's their strike zone. There's the defined strike zone, but then there's their strike zone. And we're going to take that away now. And that's going to make it so that if you're pitching to a different umpire, it's going to be the same strike, whether it's high, whether it's low, in or out. The strike's not going to change. And I think that's going to be interesting for the result and the product on the field. I do expect that we'll see some changes because you're not going to see big strike zones, right? You're not going to see tight strike zones. You're going to see the legitimate, real strike zone.
Jim, are you excited to see any one particular player from last season in a new environment? There's been some movement, different players, new faces, or old faces in new places. Who's the most interesting of the offseason moves that were made here? Who made the most compelling? Who are you most excited to see in their new home?
Man, there was a lot of movement this year. Boston's two new pitchers, Ranger Suarez and Sonny Gray, how they impact that rotation. The Toronto Blue Jays were very active, grabbing Dylan Cease, grabbing Cody Ponce from overseas, Kaz Okamoto. Everything the Mets did, they lost a lot of guys. Pete Alonso in an Orioles. That may be one of those players that I'm most interested to see, how that works and plays out. But Pete with the Mets, the Orioles, no longer the Mets. Tucker with the Dodgers, and there was so many movements. I don't know if I have just one. There's how Freddie Peralta pitches with the Mets. I'm not going to say Bo Bichette and the Mets because I absolutely have no interest in ever seeing that. I'm going to be exposed to it, but I have no desire to willingly watch it. But there was a lot of movement, and it's going to be fun to see how these guys. I mean, you have Nolan Arenado. He's an Arizona Diamondback now, right? He'd been a Rocky. He'd been a Cardinal. Now he's in Arizona. Does he have anything left in the tank? That's maybe one of the more compelling stories heading into this new year. Does Nolan Arenado, as it seems like the sun is setting on his career, all of his numbers are going down. The offensive and the defensive metrics are going down. Can he be more than just a clubhouse rah guy, or does he have anything left? There was a lot of movement. It was quite an off season.
Well, we're not done yet because there's a name, And I don't know what this guy has left. And then bring everybody up into speed, including Danger on this, because I don't know if you saw this, Danger. So we had the story yesterday. Like, wait a second, this is weird. Like, Nick Castellanos, big part of the Philly, and he had a down year, but normally you don't treat somebody persona non grata the way the Phillies did. You wonder, okay, what's the rest of the story? Come to find out, and Castellanos confirming this, that, I don't know, he was angry, Danger, that he got taken out of the game, and he brought beer onto the bench. What's wrong with that? Like treating it like a softball game. I don't think there's anything. Well,
right.
That rubbed people the wrong way. What's the market for Castellanos? Would you think who should take a run at that, or do you look at that and be like, that's a guy who can't field at this point?
No, I think that there is some very interesting developments there, because nobody was going to trade for him because they knew the Phillies were going to cut him. So there was absolutely no need in giving up a prospect or even having a conversation about taking on any of that contract. So now everybody was able to just play their cards close to their vest in terms of a trade conversation. Now he's free. So there will be teams that jump and try to grab Nick Castellanos. Teams that maybe needed an outfield bat, didn't get one. Cleveland comes to mind. Kansas City traded for a couple guys, but maybe argue that a motivated Nick Castellanos would be better than either of the two players that the Kansas City Royals picked up, Lane Thomas and Isaac Collins. There are a handful of teams. The San Diego Padres could grab him. The Seattle Mariners. I mean, if he's free and he's motivated, because he's going to have to try and go out and earn a contract next year and try to stay in the game a little longer. I think there's some teams that could definitely give him a shot. I would probably look at that. Well, I mean, it's free, so I'll identify Cleveland as the team, because they did nothing for their lineup, and Nick Castellanos, if he's going to cost them nothing, then the upside is there. It's a net positive on the nothing scale if you bring up Nick Castellanos for Cleveland. There's some places, and just because he wasn't traded for, again, does not mean nobody wants him. It just meant nobody wanted to trade for him when they knew he was going to be cut free and not cost anything.
So, Jim, just with the hindsight of reflecting on 2025 and knowing that 162 games, a lot can happen when you look at 2026. Are there teams that you've kind of circled and said, okay, that could be a surprise team in 2026? I don't know. I mean, you're a Jays guy, so you probably thought all along that the Jays were going to be, in the World Series, or at least going on a playoff run. The Mariners, are a nice team. They had a nice run. I think might have surprised some people last year. Are there surprises in 2026 that you have circled as far as the moves that have been made so far this offseason and what they're bringing to the table for opening day?
I guess it depends on as we head into the season where the expectations currently lie. For example, some of the recent standings projections from Baseball Prospectus and from Fangraphs have the Boston Red Sox missing the postseason. And I could see the Boston Red Sox making a run this year. Again, I mentioned it at the very beginning, the Ranger Suarez and Sonny Gray edition, pairing them with Garrett Crochet. That's a dynamic top three in the rotation, pushing their number 4 guy, Brian Bayo, to the back half of a rotation, and then creating an open competition for the 5th spot. And by the way, they got 5 guys that can compete for that final rotation. And you've got a lineup full of players that are still, developing and getting better in their careers, like Marcelo Meyer and Roman Anthony and Wilyer Abreu. So Boston, if anybody's coming into this thinking Boston could be on the outside looking in for the playoffs, that I believe is the complete opposite. Boston, to me, feels like they could be a 90-win team and comfortably in the postseason. Maybe Kansas City's kind of interesting as well, just because they're trying to develop one of the young hitters, Jack Caglione, and last year they missed the playoffs, but they also didn't have their ace for most of the season. So if he's back, that's going to be a big difference maker. Kansas City could surprise some people. But outside of that, I think everyone's expecting a Braves and a Mets bounce back. The Braves had an uncharacteristically bad season last year, and the New York Mets were decimated with injuries in that pitching rotation, and now they enter a season with 10 different options for the rotation, so they sort of handled that. But it feels like some of this stuff is almost lined up perfectly to where the teams we expect to be there will be there, and it maybe is more in reverse. Teams that you think might be an impact team, a division winner, that fall out of it, fall flat. The Milwaukee Brewers don't really look good heading into this season after a lot of the players that are now gone that had that Brewer fabric. Freddie Peralta, Isaac Collins, Caleb Durbin recently traded to the Red Sox. That was another good Red Sox pickup. There's a lot of pieces that are gone. Milwaukee could be one of those teams. 97 wins, most wins in baseball last year during the regular season for the Brewers. And I don't want it to sound like I'm sleeping on the Brewers because I know what the Brewers can do and I've seen it. The Brewers could miss the playoffs, so it's almost more going the opposite way. I can kind of see some of these teams that might sneak up. It's the teams that are going backwards that might surprise some people.
Well, what direction are the Yankees going? I honestly, what I look at their offseason, like, that's it. Like, okay, you brought back Bellinger. You traded for a bullpen arm in Weathers. I question bringing back Grisham just because I watched him for so many years in the National League. Like, that guy can't. I mean, that popped out of nowhere. There's going to be some regression to the mean. So where are the Yankees going to fit in all this year, do you think?
Well, they didn't have a choice with Trent Grisham because that was the qualifying offer, and then he decided to accept that. And they were probably quite surprised as far as that development. But you think about this Yankee team, 94 wins last year, and a lot of these standings projections have them as a high 80s win team. So I think they can push back into that 90s win total, which gets them into the October dance, and that's what they're trying to do. And the big addition, really, year over year, is the return of Garrett Cole, and that was their ace that was missing last year. And now I don't think he'll be pitching to the level we're used to seeing Garrett Cole at the beginning of the year, this first half of the year. But the back half of the year, when they are making a push either to win the division or lock up a wild card spot and then go deep in October, that's the team that you care about. What does this team look like at the end of September? And if Cole and Fried and Rodon and Schlittler and Heel are all healthy and pitching well, and this lineup is very capable of scoring runs, that's the team that is dangerous and could go deep. So I think the Yankees are probably going to be right around where they were last year, but 94 wins and in the playoffs, that works. It's just, what's the team look like in September?
Jim, everybody, I think, in 2026 is bracing for a life without baseball in 2027. Do you know anything as far as where things stand now, where things are headed? Is that the uncomfortable reality of what baseball fans have to look forward to, because it feels like a work stoppage is all but inevitable?
Yeah, it feels like that narrative has really picked up lately, or at least we've all been reminded of it. Jeff Passan put out a powerful piece on ESPN.com yesterday talking about how that Kyle Tucker deal with the Dodgers is sort of the straw that broke the camel's back. But I remember a year ago when they signed Tanner Scott, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. It is going to be interesting to see if owners will move off of the whole salary cap argument. I know players are going to fight that, and I think there's going to have to be some compromise to that degree. Do they get a salary cap? I don't think they do. Now, the problem with not getting a salary cap means we also probably don't get a salary floor, and that, I think, is what is really needed to get those owners that are very, very fine with just putting about 80 to 100 million worth in players out there and pocketing some of that revenue sharing money. That's what needs to be resolved. The Dodgers, I know it's frustrating and irritating. Trust me, I know firsthand. The Blue Jays missed out on Shohei Ohtani. They most recently missed out on Kyle Tucker to the Dodgers. But I don't blame the Dodgers for putting us in this position, or as some say, ruining baseball. I put the owners that show up and want to try to turn a profit on their baseball team. and not spend money as problems. I mean, look what the Milwaukee Brewers did this year. They made it to the National League Championship Series this past season, and instead of flipping the switch, upping the payroll, spending some money, trying to take the next step, they traded and let a bunch of players go instead of reinvesting in the team and trying to make a run and open up a window of 5 years hunting for a championship. They're just going to retool and go backwards. And that's the problem. I think that is what is hurting baseball. The Toronto Blue Jays surprisingly make the World Series. What do? They're one of the top spenders in this offseason. So we need more owners that will spend, or at least will spend at the appropriate time. And so again, the narrative is that the Dodgers are ruining baseball. I'm on the side of the owners that won't spend, the cheap owners. That's what the problem is. I'm hopeful that when we get to, because we'll have the lockout next December, and I'm hopeful that by the time we get to this point next year, there is enough pressure on both sides to where they are hammering out the deal. You know, we were stuck on the salary cap for the last 3 months, but okay, we're not making any ground there. Where can we make ground? We got to get this thing back because we can't kill the sport.
Jim, last one for me, and we always ask you a question about all right, these teams that are, for now it looks like the A's, they're getting their stadium expansion. Since we last spoke, hey, we have these beautiful artist renderings. Look at this park for the Rays in Tampa, and there's the governor and everybody. And then you ask for details on this, and it seems like play one of the playbook, like show the rendering, and then let's figure out a plan for funding. I don't know. It seems a little short on details. So where do the Rays right now stand here in terms of staying in that area long term?
I feel like you're right. The Rays, his first step, show everybody how beautiful it could be, and hopefully everybody gets excited about it. Second step, figure out how to do it. They did come to an agreement with a board of trustees there. It's a non-binding memorandum to develop the site. It's a site near the football stadium. So like they're as firm as loose as this can be. They're as firm as they can in this very loose space. It feels like it's early days, and I like the idea of moving the park, getting it out of St. Petersburg, putting it in Tampa, and making it easier for people to get to, because it's a nightmare. I've been down to Tampa. I've been to that ballpark. I've been around that area, and the causeways going up and down there. It's a hassle. Like if you're in downtown Tampa and you want to go to a game, you aren't doing it because you're not going down to St. Petersburg. But if the stadium is right downtown, all of a sudden it's a lot easier to get to. It's a central point. You can go after work. I mean, it makes it. I think will increase the viability of the team. So I hope they work this out and make it happen.
Jim, I want to give the floor to you and tell everybody about the work you're doing at Ball Cap on YouTube that we can check out here as we get ready for a new season.
Yeah, Ball Cap Sports on YouTube. You can either search that or you can just search my name, Jim Riley. It is full season preview mode, going through and tier ranking the rotations and bullpens and lineups, and going through some of these standings projections and trying to identify what works, what doesn't work, what's on, what's off, and just getting everybody geared up for the start of what's going to be a really fun and exciting 2026 season.
Yeah, Jim, we are looking forward to seeing the pictures out of spring training this weekend, and then before you know it, we'll have spring training games. Always appreciate your time, bud. Thank you so much today.
Thank you, guys.
Jim Riley, Ball Cap Sports on YouTube. Baseball coverage all season long. Guy with some 585 roots. It's a friend of the show. Appreciate him giving us some time and previewing the 2026 season.
U.S. leading Italy 1-0 after one. So Megan Keller with the U.S. goal, but it felt like one of those, like, but they should be 5-0. So.
See the save that the Italian goaltender made with the paddle of her stick?
So it's one of those cross-ice feeds. and you have an open net and the goalie is diving across, and that's the only thing you're putting your stick out, and bam.
Just remarkable.
Yeah.
And really, the only thing keeping Italy in this game is the goaltending. They're getting outshot 20-2 through one period. So,
Hey.
hey, we're not worried.
Yeah,
Have some gnocchi in the first intermission. Put some Parmesan on top of it. Get out there. Keep playing, girls. Because they're Italian. Don Stevens joins us next hour. Voice of the Rochester Americans, a home-and-home series with Utica on deck. Time for your calls as well at 866-4FAN, 585-866-4326.
You're listening to the Sports.
Leader 95.7 FM and AM 950 The Fan, Rochester, an Odyssey sports station.
The Fan Rochester Sports Update.
Bills announced their full coaching staff, and there is one interesting name here. That's former Panthers, Broncos, and Bears head coach John Fox. The 71-year-old Fox will serve as a senior assistant. At the Olympics, women's quarterfinal action, and they are leading Italy right now in hockey 2-0. They're in the second. The Amerks home and home begins tomorrow against Utica. Head coach Mike Leone on making a push.
It's another season when you get back, and then hopefully another season when you get in the playoffs. And we just got to make sure our team game's in a good place when we get back. Special teams has been really good. So just got to push. It's going to be, if anyone's looked at our schedule the second half, it's really difficult. It's going to be tough the rest of the way in.
We'll talk to Amerks voice Don Stevens coming up later this hour. Nighthawks are back home tomorrow night. Gene Battaglia, the sports leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950, The Fan, Rochester.
It's time to start the show and talk about the sports we saw. Inside jokes and takes from Danger and Battaglia. Bills and the Sabres and the Amerks. Who gave a microphone to these jerks? Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. With Danger and Battaglia.
Is Durante Italian for trash? Because that goal was garbage.
She was playing lights out.
She was playing so
lights
good.
Out, and then the softest of softy goals.
Just as I was hyping her up, she made an unbelievable save at the end of the first period. This is Team USA women's hockey against Italy. And the start of the second period here, just a soft garbage goal for Team USA. Now up 2-0 with a better than 2-1 shot ratio, out shooting Italy 23-2.
Wait, did you say 2-1? That's 10-1.
I'm sorry, a better than 10-1. Yes,
11-1.
God,
Mike Danger.
not really. I'm not that bright, Gene.
Mathematics.
I'm not that bright. I'm the first one to say it. I'm not that bright.
2-1.
2-1 would have been 22-11, but 23-2. You're right. Better than 10-1.
Oh, we hold ourselves accountable.
Yeah, we do. Thank you for that. Welcome back in. Thanks for joining us this afternoon in the Sports Bar, 95.7 FM, AM 950. You can find us on YouTube, The Fan Rochester, where we stream live every afternoon. Also in the free-to-download Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
You think of Brandon Bean. I still picture him as like a younger guy. He's not. He's 49, 50. He's 49. He got into the NFL really early, and credit to him. By really early, meaning 1998.
I mean, 49 is young, okay? 50 is a new 30, pal. All right?
Brandon Bean's younger than me and you. My point is, oh my gosh, Brandon Bean was there for the entirety of the John Fox era.
Yeah.
Brandon Bean was working alongside John Fox.
Yeah.
Brandon Bean was in the front office when the Panthers made their first Super Bowl. This was the Janet Jackson Super Bowl, and Bean was there from 98 all the way to 2016. John Fox there 02 to 2010. Yes. Where I said before, that's the obvious connection there. It's not Brady. It's Bean bringing him in.
Yeah. My head immediately goes to, well, is he doing him a favor?
Or is this Bean just, hey, tell me what's really going on here? Like, are you bringing him in just to kind of be your ears?
I almost feel like, Bean's got the trust, it would appear, of Mr. P. And if Mr. P is the one signing the checks and you're Brandon Bean, and you can say to a friend, former colleague who hasn't worked since 2023, yeah, we can find a spot for you here. And oh, by the way, you're the guy that has the head coaching experience on the staff, so this is an easy sell. Come on, work for us in Buffalo for a season, and let's see how it goes. John Fox, hard for me to say what he did when he was in this similar kind of role as a senior defensive assistant in Detroit in 2023 when we last saw him. What did that mean? What was his contribution? He worked with Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, it seems whenever you have that sort of consultant role, what is it you say you do here? So, Danger, I'm fine with that. US 3-0 now.
Oh, they got another one?
I know. Oh, Durante. Hey.
Hey, it's Italian for Civ.
What would you say you do here?
Found it. So I don't know. I immediately think favor. Immediately. Like, I can't help, but the cynic in me says favor. You don't really need John Fox, but you have a guy with head coaching experience and a staff without a lot of head coaching experience. Maybe there's something to that. Or maybe it is an impediment to Joe Brady actually being able to be Joe Brady. We'll see. It probably is a nothing other than he's there. He's in the building. He's somebody you can bounce things off.
It's funny how that didn't get out, though. Like, okay, here's the announcement. Our coaches and a lot of this stuff we heard secondhand. Why? Because coaches too have agents too, and apparently John Fox didn't have an agent that really wanted him to go on. Probably because, you know what, he really doesn't have a role here. He's on the payroll, and you can kind of go around and, hey, just run things by. I'm not going to get too worked up about it, but
yeah,
it's just one of those things like, oh, yeah, the man in charge here, yeah, he wears sunglasses.
As it always seems to happen in the offseason in the NFL, we go from the field to the courtroom. Diggs, not guilty to an assault charge made by his personal chef who claims that he slapped and tried to choke her. He has a pre-trial hearing set for April 1st.
No joke. Yeah, so he pled not guilty today. If you're the Patriots, this is all you need to move on, right? The fact that this is April 1st, you don't know how this is going to play out. Your cap hit isn't going to be all that much. You can upgrade. Diggs, we look at this and we remember the one game against the Bills, but what else did he really do for that team? And you could say he was coming off a major knee injury. Fair enough, but he's 33. Like, you can find better help there. 4-0, by the way. I just look up now. Now it's like you're turning on the faucet.
Yeah.
So.
I was having physical therapy done this morning, and my PTs my physical therapists were having the debate, the conversation. It's going to be the thing that everybody talks about until we get to free agency, until we get to the draft. Wide receiver. What do you do? Do you go get Alec Pierce? Do you swing a trade? Do you try to get somebody who's out there? I was talking to a Bills fan. I was talking to a Niners fan. Both teams in very similar situations. Both teams looking to upgrade at wide receiver. Do you do it in the draft? Do you do it in free agency?
Well, the answer's both. Like, if they don't address the wide receiver position in free agency and for that matter, trade for somebody that you could put that in the same bucket, the last thing you would ever want is, okay, here's our wide receivers on the roster right now because you're going to cut Curtis Samuel. It's Khalil Shakir, Josh Palmer. We brought back Brandon Cooks, and there's somebody else. Oh, my gosh. You cannot have that. Oh, and Keon Coleman, I would expect. I know we all think that, oh, hey, Keon Coleman, they're going to trade him.
I'm telling you, if I was Keon Coleman, I wouldn't show up. I'd be like, I demand a trade. Why would I show up? Get me out of here. The owner publicly humiliated me. Why would I play for this team? It's embarrassing.
There's one guy who can change all that. That's actually Josh Allen. If Josh Allen just day one says, hey, I believe in this guy and he's going to have a big role, we could all be like, okay.
I think you could say all of that you want publicly until you actually say that to Keon and get Keon to buy in. Because if I'm Keon right now today, I'm still pissed. I'm still thinking to myself, what am I doing in Buffalo with an owner who made a point to throw me under the bus?
Well, then I would say, what the heck were you doing missing meetings and doing the things you weren't supposed to do? I really, Terry Pegula said something, like, honestly, grow up, Keon. That would be my thing. And if he's doing all the things, if Terry Pegula my point is, Danger, if Terry Pegula had it all wrong, all Josh Allen has to do is say, this guy is on our team and he's going to make plays. We were talking this week about this. Like, you go back to Fisher, he is doing fantastic.
Sure.
It looks like this is developing. Wow. And then go back and watch the opening game against the Ravens. You think of the playoff, the deflection, he had over 100 yards, 8 catches. Like, here we go. And then what? Did you stop working? What happened? It's a long season. That's great that you did that week 1. That shouldn't matter the Monday preparing for week 2. And not everything is going to go your way. The whole thing that I kind of irks me the wrong way about that, too, and I don't know if you were talking about this with your guys at PT today or not. Coleman makes a play in the Jacksonville game. Coleman finds the end zone in Denver. Look, in a perfect world, you could say Khalil Shakir's a 3, but I think in this offense he'd be a 2. But Keon Coleman, can he be like a 3 on this team? Well, that's what you would want, right? Make a play a game, score a touchdown every other game, and maybe every once in a while you bust out. It's a small sample size. I get it. 2 games in the playoffs. But how we got, again, Terry Bagula, had he not opened his mouth, like you could have pointed that and maybe you could have flipped him. There's no point in flipping Keon Coleman for a 5th-round pick. I'm sorry. That doesn't do you anything at this point.
Can I interest a team in the NFL in Deebo Samuel, whose contract is voided? He will count $12.3 million against the Commanders' cap, and he will be a free agent wide receiver next month. Not for me. Not for me.
Dude, I love the player, though. But
I loved the player.
Right.
I don't love the player present day. I think Samuel, the knock on Samuel is what? He got fat. He got slow. He didn't condition the way he was supposed to condition.
Or just like he played the game like a running back. Just like they used him that way in San Francisco, and things kind of took a toll there. The answer is no. If he were sitting out there and it's, right before the EVA camp and somehow you take a flyer, look, of course you would bring him in. That's what Brandon Beane is known for, right? How many wide receivers that come in that you know the name and then there's nothing left you figure out real quick?
Hey, the NCAA remains a joke. There's really no purpose whatsoever for the NCAA moving forward. As Ole Miss quarterback Trinidad Chambliss will have his ability to return to Ole Miss for another year after a Mississippi judge granted him a preliminary injunction against the NCAA, who tried to prevent Chambliss from playing a 6th year.
It's not only like at the big level. So RIT's playing Niagara the other night, and I'm looking at Niagara stats. Here's their leading scorer. His name's Declan McDonald. Okay, I'm looking at Declan McDonald. He played 10 games for the Syracuse Crunch.
Huh.
What? Like everybody's like, this shouldn't be. Like, that shouldn't happen. G League players shouldn't be coming back into college sports.
All right.
Like at this point, but then it's all going to blur at some point, and you'll have old men coming back in because they had 1 year of eligibility remaining. And I'm not saying this to put down the Niagara forward, but what are we doing here?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
In the case of Chambliss, the NCAA, according to this judge in Mississippi, acted in bad faith when they denied him a medical red shirt based on a respiratory issue that kept him from playing in 2022 while he was at Ferris State. That season, he did not play a single snap. He did not dress for any games. So he will get another year at Ole Miss.
I was going to save this story for shots here, Danger, but this is hilarious. Chances are you haven't heard of this name as I'm pulling this up. Solomon Tuliaupupupu.
It's a great name. Might just go around randomly yelling that name.
Tuliaupupupu.
Let's share that one with PJ Glasser. That belongs in the bracket.
Solomon Tuliaupupupu. He's a linebacker, Montana. Danger. He was just granted by the NCAA a 9th year of eligibility.
Good God, man. Why not?
It's like the Tom Green character, like they did the spoof in Ithaca, like he's at Ithaca College forever and road trip.
Yeah.
Like he's like, are you ever going to graduate? And Danger, in college, you knew somebody like that.
Yeah.
Like you just, I'm going to stay here forever because I really don't have a plan.
Professional student.
Yeah, like at what point?
One of my best friends growing up was that. He was one of the smartest kids I knew growing up. So smart that he just stayed in education. He just constantly was in school up until his 40s. The guy was still taking classes, still furthering his education. And, like working, but like I'm still in school, still learning, still a student. I'm like, my God, how many years has it been? 9 years of eligibility. It's almost like this guy from Montana listens to the sports bar.
9 times.
Good for him. Well, I mean, probably not going pro. Maybe gets a little bit of cake just for showing up at Montana. I don't know what their NIL budget is, but why not? Just be that guy. Be the guy that never graduates. Play football for 9 years in Montana.
U.S. up 4-0 shots on goal in this game. 31-2.
That's a 3-1, right? I'm not great at math, but that's a 3-1 advantage, I want to say, for the...
Like, I should make a compilation of the Mike Danger not so great moments.
Well, it's not even that. I'm not even... That's just me not being bright, Gene. I'm sorry. Like, I'm in broadcasting for a reason.
We have Don Stevens on hold. We'll get to Don after a break here.
Very good. Don Stevens, the Hall of Famer, voice of the Rochester Americans. Weekend set with Utica on tap. You'll hear all the action here on the Fan Rochester, and he joins us next.
United States up big on Italy. It's now 4-0. They're in the second. U.S. outshooting the Italians 31-2. The Bills announced their full coaching staff. One interesting name, that's former head coach of the Panthers, Broncos, and Bears, John Fox. Fox will serve as a senior assistant in Buffalo. The Rochester Americans, a home and home begins tomorrow night at Utica. Head coach Mike Leone on the weekend.
It's going to be a grind the rest of the way in. They're really fast. They got some guys that could really hurt you. They're just, if they could ever find a way to score goals, they're a really dangerous team. And every game here on out is, the intensity is going to get ramped up. So expecting the same tight checking games for the weekend.
Leone joining us earlier this week on the Sports Bar. We'll talk to Don Stevens coming up next. Gene Battaglia, the sports leader, the Fan Rochester.
Pull up a stool and join us. 585-866-4FAN. 866-4326. The Sports Bar with Danger and Battaglia on the Sports Leader. 95.7 FM and AM 950 The Fan, Rochester.
Weekend series in Utica for the Rochester Americans, a home and home Saturday, and then Sunday afternoon back at Blue Cross Arena. You'll hear all the action on the Fan Rochester, your proud home of Rochester Americans hockey, and the play-by-play coverage by the Hall of Famer, voice of the Rochester Americans. His farewell tour continues. One last time in Utica, Don Stevens joining us now in the Sports Bar. And Don, we know that Belleville was classy. They gave you a nice little send-off. Are you expecting anything from Utica when you call your final game there in Utica for the Amerks?
I think so, but what, I don't know. I don't. It's not. I'm the enemy. So while they're going to acknowledge what I've done and that, they're not going to go too far out of it. I don't think so. A very nice gesture by Belleville with that Stevens number 40 jersey, but nobody tells me what's going on. They just, we're doing something, but nobody tells me what it is.
Don, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of things planned, and honestly, we're all hoping the season goes into June for the Amerks. And helping matters was the last time we saw the team on the ice. Let's go back to last weekend where the Amerks pick up the Friday home win over Springfield and then getting the win also at Utica on Saturday. Certainly helps when you get guys like Isak Rosén coming back down from Buffalo.
Yes, and Helenius, and then Metza also came down, but he hasn't been. The rules were if he had played, I don't know exactly how many, it's like 16 games or something before the NHL break, that he couldn't play here. So until I think it's he can't practice till the 17th, which means then if he can practice on the 17th, then he should be eligible to play on the 18th, which is Wednesday night. So Metza might be back in the lineup too. I don't think we're going to see Austin back, and obviously Josh Dunn. He's gone to Buffalo for the year, so we don't have much more hope. The biggest thing for us right now is to hope that Buffalo gets their injured players back, and so that they don't have to keep calling these guys up. It's it's a mixed emotions, because you love to see the guys being called up. You love to see them doing well. But on the other hand, being greedy here in Rochester, we want to have these players here.
Yeah, and you see it firsthand, Don. I mean, tell us a little bit about what you saw here over the last few weeks with a lot of those guys called up to Buffalo, to what this team looks like when you get some of your guys back, your captain and Metza and Rosén and Helenius and everybody else that comes back into the fold for the next couple of games here.
Well, you get some scoring back in the lineup, and certainly with Rosén, you saw that he came back and he gets a natural hat trick, so that's a whole lot of difference. It just lacks scoring. We've got lots of guys that are real gritty players, and they're just contributing outstanding to the whole process. But when you're missing so many of your finishers, the ones who can actually put the puck in the net, or do put the puck in the net with quite often, regularity, if you will, then that makes quite a bit of difference. And that's when Buffalo has an injury, they're not calling up those guys that necessarily are the grinders and I hate to refer to them as fourth liners because they're just as important as the first line, but they're calling up the fourth liners, and they're not calling those guys up. They're calling up the goal scorers. So that's the way it works out.
Yeah, Don, I'm going to ask you a question, but this is just kind of general. You have been around for 40 years, and on the horizon is the NHL trade deadline, and the Sabres they're doing well. They might need some help if they want to get some veterans. Just in general, like this time of year, what has been your experience when it comes to the NHL trade deadline? Because the Sabres are playing well, at least in recent history, this one is going to feel a lot different. Friday, March the 6th, by the way, is the deadline.
Yeah, very much different. Is we haven't really had to worry about it too much in the past because the Sabres were sellers. They weren't necessarily buyers. And when you say seller, they're probably going to lose a player here and there. But when you say buyer, they're quite often trying to get a high-end player, which might cost them 2, maybe even 3 players out of the roster to come up with that one good player. So if that happens where the Sabres are buyers, they keep doing well, and they make some kind of a trade like that, then we could be on the unfortunate end of that whole deal.
The Sabres have had a three-headed monster through the season at goal, Don, and all the while, Devin Levi has been consistently in Rochester, and you've been able to watch his development here, all these seasons now, as he still has aspirations to play at the next level. Give me your takeaway on how Devin has performed this year. We know that there have been some ups and downs, some adversities, plenty of rumors, but overall, it feels like the Amerks goalie has really kind of risen to the occasion when you've needed him to.
I don't know if he was disappointed about the whole situation in Buffalo or not, but so he was kind of good, but not great early on. And just last few weeks, he's really come on strong. So I think that's good for him. But what we all need to remember is he's very young, especially for goalie age. He's a very young player, and he's got, I think, a very bright future ahead of him. I really believe that it's in his best interest that he be here for this year and this whole year instead of being yanked up and sent down back and forth where he wasn't really able, I don't think, to develop like he should have over the last couple of years. I think this is a very important year for him, and I think what's happening with him is good for him. And so I'm glad to see that he's really been coming around and playing extremely well lately.
Yeah, Don, I want to ask your thoughts. And first of all, am I saying this correctly? Do we have it correct? Constantinius, is that correct? Is that
Hellenius?
Okay.
Hellenius.
Hellenius. Yes, and
Yeah,
we
so-
apologize to the Hellenius family, but he set the record straight on that. Don,
no, he sets the record straight. After he came back from Buffalo, and Andrew when they were doing a media thing, they talked to him it was longer discussion on what his name is and how you say it versus what he was talking about in the presser. So he said, and that's the best we could come up with out of his pronunciation is Hellenius, and it's us in our English tongues or language or whatever it's have trouble wrapping our.
No, it's me in Rochester. I say Constantinius. I don't care. He's Constantinius because I'm from Rochester.
Danger. I don't want that getting in Don's head there.
No, we were living the shadow of Kodak, and he's Constantinius as far as I'm concerned.
Don, about Constant, I'm going to screw it up. Like a player that young coming over for Finland, where he can't even correct people on until this year on the spelling on the pronunciation of his name. But how has his game kind of evolved here? Because it feels, at least for me, all right, we have him now. Maybe we get him back in the postseason, but I don't know. It feels like he's kind of ready for bigger things in Buffalo, staying up there.
Yeah, and he's gaining confidence. First of all, let me say that this is not abnormal for the young European players that are coming over here. Their first time away from home, totally different continent, a totally different lifestyle, and they're intimidated when they come here. So with their name being pronounced right, that's all they say is, I don't care, do it whatever you want, do whatever. They don't want to correct anybody. Like I say, they're just intimidated. So it's a very natural thing, and we've had it before where that's happened. Like we had Henrik Callender was here before, And then the day he went to Buffalo, all of a sudden he became Tallinder. He had never corrected us here, so that's not abnormal. But back to your question, I think he's improving vastly, and so much of it is to do with his confidence. And now as he comes back after winning the fastest skater in the All-Star event, we'll see how much that improves, and if he starts using his skating even more. So things looking up for him, which could be the downside for us because he did really well in Buffalo too.
Look at them right now, 6-0 now, United States, by the way, updating everybody. And they're a little pushing and shoving after that last goal by the U.S. Don Stevens, our guest here, is the Amerks playing the home against Utica. Don, that's a fun day there. I've been to the Kids' Day game, and it kicks off a week where, well, if you have kids, here comes the break, and a lot of us aren't heading to Florida. So what kind of crowd are we expecting coming up here on Sunday?
I haven't heard. I think it's always pretty good, but I've been like, we had the week off sort of thing, or I did anyway. I've been at home and glued to my TV watching the Olympics. I love the Olympics, so I really haven't been around to ask what the kind of crowd is, but I think it usually is pretty good.
All right, so talk about you watching the Olympics, Don, because the women's team looked like a wagon. This has been a dominant performance up to this point, and it looks like they're going to easily advance here to the semifinals after dispatching of Team Italy. And then your initial thoughts on what you saw.
That's even with an incredible performance by the Italian goalie in the first period.
She was great in the first period. Some unbelievable saves. It's all falling apart from here in the second. But I wanted to get your initial thoughts also on Game 1 of the men and their win yesterday against Latvia.
Good. I think the U.S. team, and maybe I'm showing my Canadian roots, I don't know, but I think the U.S. team was outstanding. But I just don't see anybody touching the Canadian team. What a phenomenal lineup that is. It's just incredible, the lineup they have. So I think the Canadians have to be the heavy favorites.
Well, Don, we're looking forward to hearing your call. Is Andrew making the trip with you tomorrow night?
No, I'll be on my own.
Okay, keeping Andrew home for this one.
Well, we usually just do one person on the road.
Yeah, very good.
In Utica, there's very little room in the broadcast area anyway, so it works out fine. I'm used to it.
Well, Don, we're looking forward to the call tomorrow night, and of course on Sunday as well, as the team returns home to Blue Cross Arena. Enjoy your weekend, enjoy the Olympic hockey, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks a lot. Good to hear from you again. Appreciate it.
You got it. Don Stevens, voice of the Amerks, joining us in the sports bar. Big weekend set against Utica Saturday and Sunday. All the action here on the Fan Rochester.
I bet Utica doesn't do anything for him.
You don't think so?
No. Not that you're really asking for anything, but
what's the cuisine in Utica? Is that what? Who does the Speedies? Is that a Binghamton thing?
That's a Binghamton thing. Well, Utica is all.
Yeah, I know.
It's all Italian.
Hey, we're gonna give you pasta fajoule. There you go.
Hey, Don. There you go.
Getting a little heated with the coaches between Team USA and Team Italy. Is that last goal? A little pushing and shoving after the goal, a little roughhousing, a little Donnybrook.
Yeah, who says women's hockey isn't physical?
Kind of fun. We get some hand gestures from the Italian coach. Hey! Hey! Hey!
Far from me to challenge a Hall of Famer like Don Stevens. The goaltending situation for Canada, I think, kind of opens the door for a team like U.S. to maybe take this. Just me.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And when people say that this is Team USA's best chance to win a gold since 1980,
we say this every year, right?
We'll listen to that. Yeah. But simultaneously, what Don is saying is accurate. That lineup for Team Canada it's sick. It is ridiculous. I mean, McDavid, McKinnon, albeit an age Sidney Crosby. I mean, like you have everything you could possibly want.
Dude, we want that final, right?
Oh, for sure.
3:00 next Sunday. Not this Sunday, the 23rd. Oh.
Sign me up.
Thank goodness that's not on Valentine's Day.
No.
Like Valentine's Day, okay, U.S. and Denmark, you're not watching that either. You're going to be like buying a futon at IKEA, all right? Stop with that. Whatever it is.
We take a quick break here. We come back with more. We have time for your calls if you want to pull up a stool and join us. 585-866-4FAN, 866-4326.
You everywhere you go.
Just a check-in from my neighborhood. I mentioned him earlier. You've heard me talk about my neighbors before, right?
They're very, very close, your neighborhood.
Nikki G reaching out on the secret Textoso line. Danger, we're hanging out watching the women's Italy versus U.S. hockey game, drinking some homemade red wine, eating prosciutto capicola and fresh mozzarella with a nice crusty Italian bread.
Did you do your Goomba dinner over the holidays this year?
Oh, yeah. Of course, man. Yes. Of course.
Just mid-afternoon, bunch of guys just sitting around.
Take over a restaurant. We just say, hey, we that's our thing.
Professional eating, basically,
Yeah. No, what are the Italians doing here? They get an IV of pasta fagioli but in the second intermission to try and make this a game 6-0? Whew.
Let's just wrap it up. Yeah.
Team USA.
Running clock.
Team USA. My God. Just a wagon. Can't be stopped. Won't be stopped. If it's Team USA Canada, you like their chances just based on what they did against Canadians last time they played them. But making another statement here in the quarterfinals against Team Italy this afternoon as we welcome you back into the Sports Bar Happy Hour coming up in a few. Appreciate Don Stevens stopping by before he makes one last trip to Utica this weekend. The Amerks on the road Saturday night, and then Sunday they come back home to Blue Cross Arena.
Funny, Sean Marash, WFAN.
Mraz.
Yeah, making fun of Brian Cashman, calling him lazy. Shows up. It looks like he's going into the gym.
Oh,
basically.
I heard this. Yeah, so Mraz, how do I describe Mraz? He's a slob. Mraz is a slob. He used to be on the old DA show that we used to air here.
Yeah.
And DA would always make fun of him. Like, Mraz, you're a slob. And there was DA had a rant, I remember, years ago where, and Mraz was defending this. He was mad that NFL coaches were like wearing sweatpants and hoodies as their game day attire. Like, we are sloppy. We are slobs. Why are we making coaches? Why are coaches choosing, I know you have to wear NFL apparel, but why are we choosing sweatpants? And why are we choosing loungewear as our preferred attire when, the expectation was always these guys wore suits or at least, what happened to khakis? Like, what happened to just, dressing up a little bit? And Mraz, back then defended it. Like, hey, the guys want to be comfortable. Let them wear sweatpants. Who cares? This is America.
Now it's gone the other way. I'm looking forward to the day where we actually get back to like not looking like a bunch of slobs. Like if you say watch any show from like the early 2010s, like White Collar. It's like, all right, guys were actually taking pride in putting on clothes and doing everything. I'm not saying go back to the to the days of what was that show there with the guys that would take. I digress.
What, Mad Men?
No, not Mad Men. It was five men who would take Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. Now don't go back to those days.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, come on.
I mean, I heard of it, but I never watched it. What did they do on that show?
Oh, you know exactly what they did.
What would they do?
There was a whole bit where they would take Mike Danger, schlubby guy, and we're going to make sure.
How dare you, by the way.
We're going to take you, and we're going to make sure that you have a job interview coming up. We're going to teach you how to dress and groom yourself.
I can dress. I can groom myself. How dare you use me as the example for Queer Eye for the Straight? How dare you, Gene Battaglia?
Well, you said you didn't know.
I had no idea.
I guess the point is like the pandemic kind of changed all that, and now we're just kind of like.
Yeah, I don't like that though. I'm kind of with DA. Like, I kind of miss when Tom Landry would wear the suit and the fedora. Right, that was class.
Yeah,
that was discipline. That was structure and routine. And now we have Ozempic. It's great for weight loss. It's horrible for discipline. Like, why can't we dress up?
Well, you have to remember to take it every day. So that's
a discipline. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's wrong with Cashman showing up at least with a pair of khakis on day one?
Like next time you fly too.
It's the worst.
It's like you're really in their PJs flying.
It's disgusting. I see so many people that when I'm flying, I'm like, no effort. None. No, we're making no effort today to be out in public. I mean, if you go to the grocery store, you'll run into people at the grocery store, and they're literally in their pajamas. It's the grocery store, so I want to try and be like, I don't know, maybe you're sick, or maybe it's a last-minute thing that you need to pick up, whatever. I'll give you a little leniency. You know you're flying. You plan to travel. No effort. We're gonna wear the sweaty tank top and leave your flip flops on.
You're in PJs basically.
So your dogs are barking for the entire flight. Disgusting.
Your Crocs. Yeah.
Yeah. Clean yourself up. That's gross. But I think in this instance, Mraz being critical of Cashman, you just want to be critical because you don't like the guy. You just want to be critical because you think that they're going to underachieve again. You're setting yourself for the Yankees underachieving again, and it's all his fault. It's all his fault.
It's funny, like when we talked to Jim Riley about the Yankees, he just reminded us they have Garrett Cole coming back. The kid that was in the postseason, okay, if you get something for him, you have Rodon. Oh, yeah, Max Fried's really good. You have a rotation, in theory.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, well, tell me about the lineup. And the lineup just seems like it's the same. Let's just sit back and wait for the long ball and hope that works out in the postseason.
It'll be the same.
It will be. They'll be in the postseason.
It'll be the same. Barring injuries, it'll be the same. I mean, best case scenario is you swap out Toronto and you put the Yankees against the Dodgers like you had a couple of years ago. And would you take that? I think Yankee fans would probably be like, okay. Well.
It's North America versus the Dodgers. Every fan base against the Dodgers.
Has to happen. Got to take them out. Got to take them out.
He didn't he didn't argue with you.
He took the over.
Yeah, 157-5.
He took the over. I said 157-5, and he took the over. So, I mean, maybe Colorado slips and they don't give them 2. They give them 1. And they only lose 4 games. That's, it's disgusting. But I also would say the NFL, any sport, Major League Baseball, it's good when you have a villain. You want a villain.
Yeah.
You want somebody to root against. When the Patriots or the Chiefs make everybody fatigued because of their prolonged success, you have a villain. And that's what you have with the Dodgers in baseball. Baseball.
Fabric of our country.
Mm-hmm. We will get to a round of shots during happy hour, which is on the way next.
NFLPA has responded, by the way, to the idea that their surveys are not going to be public anymore. And, well, we'll see.
Do you follow Alvin Kamara on X? No, you don't.
No, I wouldn't know.
He popped up on my feed, and he responded to the Schefter report about the report cards going away, the owner's report cards going away. Kamara said, what if we as players just did our own surveys on X and put them out to the world? Like, yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Somebody else also asked, it was Cam Jordan from the Saints who said, has anybody ever flown Breeze Airways? And Kamara said, yeah, probably Drew.
Oh, boo.
He's on one.
Hi-oh!
Dude's on one today. All right, so the NFLPA has responded to this. Whole thing is ridiculous. The NFL is just out of control. Nobody is checking them. Happy hour is next. If you want to join us, pull up a stool. Our number is 585-866-4FAN, 866-4326.
The Fan, Rochester, an Odyssey sports station.
The Fan Rochester Sports Update.
Bills announced their full coaching staff. One interesting note here, that's former Panthers, Broncos, and Bears head coach John Fox is now on the Bills coaching staff. Fox is going to serve as a senior assistant. At the Olympics, women's hockey quarterfinal action. The United States, no problems with Italy. They're in the third. U.S. leading here by a 6-0 score. The Amherst begin the home and home tomorrow against Utica. Mike Leone talking about the stretch run.
It's another season when you get back, and then hopefully another season when you get in the playoffs. And we just got to make sure our team game's in a good place when we get back. Special teams has been really good. So just got to push. It's going to be, if anyone's looked at our schedule the second half, it's really difficult. It's going to be tough the rest of the way in.
RT women's hockey tonight playing at Penn State. Gene Battaglia, the sports leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950, The Fan, Rochester.
It's time to start the show and talk about the sports we saw. Inside jokes and takes from Danger and Battaglia. Bills and the Sabres and the Amherst. Who gave a microphone to these jerks? Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. With Danger and Battaglia.
It's happy hour in the sports bar. Thanks for joining us at 95.7 FM, AM 950, The Fan Rochester, and the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps. Also online in our YouTube channel, you can stream the sports bar, The Fan Rochester, on YouTube and on Twitch. Gino, we need a Yahtzee call for the Team USA Italy. We need a running clock here in the third period.
So in Section 5, it's 8. 8-goal lead means running clock. They don't have this for the Olympics. We're not at 8, 6-0. Right now, the United States out shooting Italy 40-4. Danger, what is that margin?
That's a 4-1 margin.
You're early in the show. Danger's like, well, right now, U.S. is out shooting Italy 23-2, a 2-1 margin.
Yeah. What's the problem?
What?
Yeah, that's impressive. Is that not impressive for you? If it was 2-1, a 2-1 margin? Okay, fine. They're dominating, and I'm not very good at math. I'm not very bright. You know this about me. But Gino will call Yahtzee when he does his play-by-play, knowing that a running clock is imminent.
Yeah, this is for like the local high school stuff, when you're web streaming, and it's just for the camera crew and for those that are in on the joke, like
for everybody that wants to get out of there.
Yeah.
We're done working. Yahtzee. Yeah, we're done. We're good. Running clock. Here we go. We've got a coaching staff in Buffalo. It was announced Joe Brady's first coaching staff is complete.
And John Fox is here. Okay, now at first blush, well, that's good. Hey, somebody who has not been in one but 2 Super Bowls, lost with the Panthers. That was back in 2003, at Janet Jackson's Super Bowl against the Patriots. And then with the Broncos, where, gosh, that was the Legion of Boom at its finest. That felt like an old-fashioned Bills getting beat down in the Super Bowl, the NFC just coming in, Seattle just running all over the place, safety to open up the game. It was just a mess. Fox gets fired after that, and he bounced around. He was actually with the Bears. I totally forgot that sequence with the Bears. Then I also totally forgot, wait a second, there is a connection here. Brandon Beane was with the Panthers front office from 2008 up until the time he got to Buffalo, which would have spanned the entirety of the John Fox era in Carolina. If John Fox has Brandon Beane's cell phone and the job is open, let me ask you a question, Danger. Do you think John Fox called Brandon Beane asking to interview for the head coaching job?
Sure.
Be funny to figure out, okay, who are the people that didn't get interviews?
Yeah.
Like if they gave one to Phillip Rivers, which is kind of outlandish when you think about it.
Right.
Who didn't get an interview?
Right. It's certainly less outlandish to think John Fox would be interviewed than Phillip Rivers, right?
Yeah.
But he's 71. His last head coaching stint with the Bears was not memorable. You forgot about it. I'm a Bears fan, and I'm trying to forget about it. The lasting memory I will have of the John Fox tenure in Chicago was a coach that was so disconnected from the front office that he didn't know they were going to draft Mitch Trubisky in the NFL draft.
Is that Fox's fault, or is that just
terrible?
terrible?
It's a dysfunctional organization. A lot of organizations are dysfunctional, and we know it starts from the top, and certain things will mask that dysfunction. In fact, I would say the majority of NFL franchises are dysfunctional, but you have a good masking agent, whether it be a quarterback or a good head coach, because when the owner gets involved, as we know, nothing good happens. And the owners like to get involved. These are their toys. They like to tinker. Fox inherits Trubisky for 1 year. Didn't know they were drafting him. It goes horribly. And then he loses his job in Chicago. He thought Mike Glennon was going to be his quarterback that season. They were going to go into the season with Mike Glennon, their big free agent quarterback acquisition. That didn't work, obviously. Glennon was caught off guard. Trubisky comes in, born to lose there in Chicago. And that was it. He was last in Detroit with the Lions as a senior defensive assistant. So to answer your question, yeah, I could see John Fox reaching out to Brandon Beane asking for an interview, and Brandon Beane saying, we're feeling good about where we are with our head coach, but maybe there's something here for you.
Let's talk. Let's talk.
Maybe there's something here for you. Mr. P, can we spare a salary for a head coach who's gotten teams to the Super Bowl? And, when you have a coaching staff without a lot of head coaching experience on it, bring him in.
Is Joe Brady, though, well, he has to be on board with this, right? It is his staff. But doesn't that feel like, all right, what's really going on here? Like it's another set of eyes and ears for Brandon Beane. And I'd like to think that he and Brady and everybody's going to be aligned. But at this point, what does John Fox bring without a title? Senior assistant? Like I want to retire as a consultant, Danger. What do consultants do? And if you're a consultant and I'm offending you, well, then tell me, what is it you do other than collect a paycheck and tell somebody, hey, I would do it differently?
What would you say you do here?
Gene, I don't know.
Every time a radio consultant came in and talked to the sales staff.
Got a meeting with the Bobs. We got a meeting with the Bobs. Going to tell the Bobs everything they need to know.
Can I interest you in this statement released here this afternoon from the NFLPA, Danger?
Oh, they've responded.
They have responded. So the story is, and we love this, right? Hey, it's the annual players survey, and we rank all these categories, everything from the cafeteria to the travel to everything, and we learn, okay, which teams are cheap, which teams kind of do it right, and I think it's kind of a good thing, right? And by the way, if you're a good workplace, if we do this here, right, here's the survey, and you turn it back, and where can we improve, right? And if you're just looking at it from that angle, the NFL should welcome this. Well, the NFL said this is against the CBA, and an arbitrator said, okay, yep, you're right, you can't release this anymore. The NFLPA says not so fast. An arbitrator, this is their statement this afternoon, Danger. An arbitrator has issued a ruling on the NFL's challenge to the NFLPA's team report cards. The program is, and they put this in red ink, not going away. The ruling upholds our right to survey players and share the results with players and clubs. While we strongly disagree with the restriction on making those results public, the limitation does not stop the program or its impact.
Okay.
It goes on. So, yeah.
So this is about public humiliation more than anything for the NFL owners. This is a bruise to the ego of Woody Johnson when you get graded an F by your players, and you want that to stop, but the NFLPA will continue to grade team performances.
Yeah, you should have this info at your fingertips because, for one, right? Hey, what's coming up in March? Free agency. And we've talked to agents, we've talked to other people. Like, sometimes it really is the Pepsi challenge, meaning it's blind. Like, okay, here are the 3 offers. Okay, well, which one has the most money? Offer A. Congratulations, you're an Arizona Cardinal. Some players don't care. Just give me the most money, and I'll go to wherever. Others like to weigh things out. And I would think this would be a big tool, learning, hey, what kind of workplace am I actually going into? And the thing about those surveys, you would learn anecdotes like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. Like, you would want to think that, hey, nutrition would be on the up and up. Not with the Bengals, who make you pay for lunch and they only provide it once a day, compared to other teams like the Bills. Like, hey, the cafeteria is open and we're here for your needs.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I guess I'm still disappointed as a fan that we won't know. But what would stop somebody from leaking that?
You mean like a player?
Right. I mean, I'm sure the Players Association would do everything in their power to prevent that from happening. But let's face it, the NFLPA is like a rudderless ship right now. I mean, who's really calling the shots? I'm surprised they even put out a statement. Do they have the capability of doing that? I mean, who's running the NFLPA right now? I don't even know.
Good question.
So that's from a fan perspective. I always like looking at it just to point and laugh. Oh, the Jets, they got an F. Oh, the Cardinals, they're a mess. Oh,
the Bills got an F. Do you remember what it was for?
Travel.
That's it. And part of the reason is every other team in the league. This is the beauty of the NFL, right? Imagine you get on the bus and you're doing your gate clearance right at the stadium. In other words, you are cleared and you go right to the tarmac and you get on the plane and you leave. You don't have to go. Not the case in Buffalo for whatever reason, but there's other stadiums and also too, like, I would think to travel too. Like, if you're coming in December, okay, you're going to get pinged on that. So
yeah. But all right, so the NFLPA responds. The NFL wins its grievance regarding the annual team report cards. So the report cards continue. We just probably won't hear about the results publicly.
The NFL is also great, too, when it comes to PR and giving you little morsels to get you excited, little benchmarks along the way. And we've got the Combine coming up. We've got free agency. We've got the draft. We got the NFL schedule release. And I think ultimately last year we're like the NFL during the draft, hey, we got a big announcement. This is going to be the date for the schedule release. And like, okay, that's great. Today we learned that we will have a Wednesday opener for the first time in NFL history. So we're accustomed to, hey, it's opening Thursday night, and I'm Mike Tirico with Chris Collinsworth, and the Seattle Seahawks are playing fill-in team here. Well, it can't be the Niners, and it can't be the Rams for that matter, because we know they're opening up in Australia. That's what we learned today. And because that is a hike, you've got to put that week 1. So with that being said, week 1 in Melbourne time, noon on a Thursday equals 8 p.m. on a Wednesday Eastern time.
So they're that far ahead of us.
That's correct.
Okay.
So the question is, do you make that noon on a Thursday or noon on a Wednesday? Where would you put? Would you flip-flop the two? Because you can make the argument that, hey, the Rams and Niners are doing us a solid. That jet lag is brutal. It is. And we need to give them an extra day of rest coming back the other direction.
I think it's cute that you think the NFL cares about the players and their jet lag. No. I mean, you're going to go to Australia, you're going to play a game, and you're going to come back and be ready for week 2. Or, you get the week 2 bye. I don't think they give them a bye. I think deal with the jet lag. You're professional athletes. I think that's the NFL stance. Do what we tell you to do. If I'm the NFL and you want to get this Australia game in week 1, which you have to do, then you make that the Thursday game. And you kick off the season on Wednesday. You expand your reach that opening week 1, by an extra day. You create another day of us waiting for that week 1 kickoff. Give us the kickoff in Seattle on Wednesday, the Australia game on Thursday, the Brazil game on Friday. Saturday will be for college. Sunday, week 1 is on.
So basically, you're getting Seahawks, followed by Rams, Niners, followed by the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And then also there's something for the NFL. Why do they want to put this out there? That game in Australia is for sale. Remember, the NFL Network, now owned by ESPN, and those games you're used to seeing overseas in London, whatever, you can now buy them,
Yep.
whether you're YouTube or Netflix, and these are things you would want. If you're YouTube and you're trying to get as many subscribers for the Sunday NFL ticket, YouTube's going to have the Friday game in Brazil. Can they tack on another here?
Thursday and Friday become infomercials for the Sunday ticket, along with some football action overseas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was always my dream. Like, hey, why can't we spread out the opening week of the season, make it, hey, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and, well,
Close.
not the way I kind of envisioned it because, well, this is the time you're going to just kind of knock out some of those international games. Also, we should kind of point out that, hey, this time next year, February 13th, will be the eve of the Super Bowl.
That's right.
Everything is a week behind next year for that reason, because Labor Day comes the latest it possibly can on the 7th. Week 1, the Sunday week 1 is until September 13th.
Yeah.
That's tough.
And if you're thinking about Valentine's Day tomorrow, start thinking about Valentine's Day next year, especially if the Bills find themselves in the Super Bowl and you're listening right now. Make your plans now. Start laying the foundation, the groundwork.
Yes.
You're watching the Super Bowl regardless, but if your team is in the Super Bowl and it's Valentine's Day, you better be suave. You need to come up with something big.
If you plan on being with your honey next year, chances are, I would hope. Like, hopefully, if something better comes along, Gene, I don't know. But honestly, you plant the seed now.
Yeah.
You say, hey, hon, did you know, like, next year the Super Bowl's on Valentine's Day? How's that going to work? Oh, my gosh, that would be terrible. I love going to the movies with you. Well,
Here's the menu. We'll have chicken wing dip. We'll have subs. We'll have wings. We'll have pizza. We'll have chocolate covered strawberries. We'll have a chocolate fondue.
I would
lots of flowers.
I would say this. I'd be like, does it have to be on the 14th? Could we? You make them come up with the idea, or we could celebrate it on the 13th. We could celebrate it on the 12th. We could make it a whole big thing. No.
I don't know, man. Are they buying it? Maybe. We also get our dream, which we've always wanted, which is that long weekend for the Super Bowl.
Yes.
President's Day is that Monday, the 15th, 2027. So you get the 3-day weekend. You don't have that. Well, you will have the fog. You just don't have to worry about working while you have the fog, the post-Super Bowl fog that we all experience from watching the game, eating and drinking too much during the game. So 2027 will be interesting. I still think, the 2026 season, I still think it kicks off that Wednesday. Give me a rematch. Give me New England going to Seattle week 1. And give me an even more thorough ass kicking of the Patriots to start their season in Seattle. I mean, that Super Bowl was pretty one-sided. Give it to me even more one-sided, where Seattle comes out and just
not interested.
You don't want that one.
No, not at all. Who wants to see that? Like, now the NFL did this with Panthers and Broncos. I thought that was a gross Super Bowl.
Would you give them the Rams then?
They can't get the Rams.
Oh, the Rams are one of the teams. Rams and Niners are going. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes,
you're on a roll today, bud.
Sorry,
it's
Friday.
All right, here are the home opponents for the Seahawks. Or is Kyler Murray still in Arizona? I don't know.
No, scratch Arizona. They suck.
Yeah. Okay. So Rams and Niners are out. Cowboys are out. I found the team. Actually, I found 2. Giants.
No.
Chargers.
No.
Chiefs.
Is Mahomes there week 1?
No. This lands to the. You don't know this, do you?
What did Jay Binkley say last week when I wasn't here?
They're going to be just fine. You should have me on all the time.
Fellas.
Danger, the Bears go to Seattle.
Oh.
That, yes. Yes. You get a major market, Caleb Williams.
No.
That's it.
No.
No, I'm telling you, that will bring in the big number. We're a little Chiefs out. You're not sure Mahomes will be there. You can't do these other teams. Legitimately, you can only pick from 6 teams. I don't want the Patriots. You don't want the Giants. Chargers, it's the Bears.
Mm-mm.
This seems as clear as anything.
Mm-mm.
You're worried because you're saying because you know your team will get.
I don't want my team to be the sacrificial lamb week 1 going into that environment. No, absolutely not. Give me the Patriots. What's wrong with you? You want the Patriots too. As a Bills fan, you should want the Patriots to go to Seattle to get their asses kicked week 1.
Here's a bold take, right?
I'm ready.
Not worried about the Patriots in 2026. But Gene, they won. Okay, yeah. I hear you. Well, they're going to make improvements. Yeah, sure.
I'm not either.
I'm not worried about them whatsoever.
I think Drake May is, for as good a season as he had, the end of the season, in the postseason, he wasn't even mid. He was terrible.
We talk about East Coast bias. The fact that Drake May, since they began releasing the numbers here for the MVP vote a few years ago, this was the closest vote. You're kidding, right? Did you not see Matthew Stafford in the Rams offense? But Drake May, more game manager than anything. Drake May, a guy who didn't even throw 300 yards once. Drake May, the guy who you can win with, but not because. But yet the Patriots are back. Oh, my gosh, this is the reason. I'm sorry. I'm going to enjoy the Patriots. Just eat. And you could say, you're a bitter Bills person, Gene. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. That first place schedule is a bitch. They're going to have a hard time. That first place schedule is tough. It always is. And they're going to have a hard time. They're going to struggle. And I'd love to see them struggle as soon as week 1 in Seattle for the kickoff game. Move it to the Wednesday. Give me Sydney on Thursday. And then Friday. Is it Sydney or Melbourne? Where are they playing?
That's a good question.
Give me Australia on Thursday. And then give me Brazil on Friday. It's the middle of February, and we're already projecting to September.
It's Melbourne.
It's
all the same, right?
Yeah. What else do we have from today? We have Diggs pleading not guilty to assault charges that were made by his personal chef. Claims he slapped and tried to choke her. Diggs has a pre-trial hearing set for April 1st. Convenient that all of this happened after the season. Diggs could find himself on the commissioner's exempt list.
For that reason, if you're going to push this out till April 1st, that seems like a cap cut for New England.
Sure.
You can you should want to upgrade. Like Butte is okay.
No, I think
Douglas
New England
is okay. But
New England, the Bills, the Niners, just off the top of my head, 3 teams right there that they're all going to want to get better at wide receiver. And they all have postseason aspirations. They need to get better at wide receiver. They got to the postseason with what they had, but they all know that they could upgrade.
Where do you think Diggs would end up? That's a tough one.
Not sure. That is a tough one. Because I think everybody knows, right? This guy's a problem. It's going to be a problem. He's a problem in Minnesota. Ended up being a problem in Buffalo. Didn't really play much in Houston, but turned out to be a problem in New England as well.
Is the answer 0.00?
You mean Diggs is done?
No. When you talk about, okay, I don't see him going back to Minnesota. The head coach is gone. Is the answer 0.00 when it comes to Buffalo and Diggs?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I think they all say the right things. Like, I think Josh Allen will say, oh, that's my guy. Diggs will say, that's my guy.
No, they don't.
No. I think it is 0.0. Would you welcome him back with everything that's happened?
No, because we would be on alert for the next thing.
Yeah.
We don't want that drama.
Yeah.
Where does he go? Baltimore. Feels like a Raven to me.
Okay. Yeah, sure. And he is a Maryland guy too, right? Yeah.
Or what role did Shane have with being like maybe the Giants because they could use
Commanders?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Deebo Samuel's contract is voided. He'll be a free agent and will count $12.3 million against Commanders cap.
The problem with all these is we picture what the athlete looked like. We remember the highlights. You just can't say that's going to be the case in 2026. Like, to me, we recognize this with the running back position. Why don't we recognize this with the wide receiver position?
When they lose a step?
Yeah.
When they slow down? Well, I tell you, sometimes it is hard. I mean, you can get guys that are still in great shape. I was talking earlier about how at physical therapy they were talking about who the Bills should get at wide receiver. And one of the guys that was working on me was a Niners fan. And they were talking about Jerry Rice at the end of his career and how at the age of 40, the guy still had it. He still had it. Just a physical freak. And the discipline that comes with that, the amount of work that you have to do to still be able to perform at that level, at that age. And yeah, you can see a drop-off. He wasn't the player he was at his peak, but he was still damn good. I feel like T.O. kind of had some of that. But when was the last time you saw a wide receiver? Anquan Bolden fell off hard.
I always wish Larry Fitzgerald went to a contender.
God, he was good.
He was fantastic. And you could say that's somebody, you respect him, that I'm here for this franchise and this fan base. But nobody in Arizona would have been like, no, go get a ring. No, everybody went at that point.
I actually admire, I what you said. I admire that he stayed with that franchise for the entirety of his career, that he never got a Super Bowl. He got to a Super Bowl, and man, he could play. God, he was good. Yeah, I don't know. Is it the end of the road for Diggs? Is it commissioner's exempt list for Diggs? Does a team...
Or the other thing, by April 1st, all goes away, and he'll be ending up somewhere. Yeah, Washington, wherever.
Let's get to a round of shots next on the Fan.
Yeah, 6-0 United States leading Italy, 3 minutes. So by the time we're back from commercial break, this game is over.
Well, the Team USA is on a power play, so expect 7-0 here shortly.
See, maybe well, can we get the running clock? Maybe make it 8.
Give me a Yahtzee.
There actually isn't a running clock in Olympic hockey.
Shoot.
Yeah. So, hey, something we haven't talked about, and I think it is one of the great stories in Rochester sports history. 20 years ago. We will discuss all that and all that has happened since here, and some other things too. College football on Friday, Danger. Where the Big Ten, their plan is bigger than you could kind of imagine. And Nick Castellanos of the Phillies, okay, why do the Phillies just kind of say, no, you're not coming back? Well, yeah, this was kind of brazen what Castellanos did. We'll break it down. All
right, we'll get to that and more next. A round of shots on the way. Don't forget about last call. You can have the final word before we head into our long holiday weekend. 585-866-4FAN is our number. 866-4326.
Bills announced their full coaching staff, and there is one name that you've heard of here. That's former head coach of the Panthers, Broncos, and Bears, John Fox. Fox is now 71. He'll serve as a senior assistant in Buffalo. At the Olympics, quarterfinal action, the United States, no problems with Italy. 6-0. Quite honestly, it could have been much more than that. Amerks are beginning a home-and-home tomorrow with Utica. Utica being on the road. Mike Leone on the weekend.
It's going to be a grind the rest of the way in. They're really fast. They got some guys that could really hurt you. They're just, if they could ever find a way to score goals, they're a really dangerous team. And every game here on out is, the intensity is going to get ramped up. So expecting the same tight checking games for the weekend.
Nighthawks are home tomorrow night against Ottawa. Gene Battaglia, the sports leader, the Fan, Rochester.
Listen to the Sports Bar with Danger and Battaglia on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. The Fan, Rochester.
Happy Hour continues. Thanks for joining us in the Sports Bar. Danger and Battaglia, 95.7 FM, AM 950, The Fan, Rochester. Let's get to a round of shots.
Yeah, the Utah Jazz, 18-37. The Indiana Pacers, they made the final last year. They're not good this year, 15-40. Both teams got hit by NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. The Jazz getting fined $500,000. The Pacers $100,000. This for benching players for no apparent reason. Utah not playing Markkanen or Jaren Jackson in the entire fourth quarter for 2 games this week. They didn't even try to mask it. The Pacers sitting out Pascal Siakam for no reason at all. It is a good draft class coming up here, Danger, but if you want to improve your draft position, what's a $100,000 fine here? I don't
Adam
get it.
Silver is a weak leader. He's not a good commissioner. He's not as bad as Manfred. Bettman is better than Silver. You heard me say it. This is terrible. The NBA continues to lose popularity year in and year out. This is one of the biggest reasons why. It's not load management and the openness of the tank. It's disgusting. And a real leader would pick up the phone, call these teams' owners, and say, go win games. Knock this off. You're killing the product. You're killing it.
Or take away draft picks, do something with
the money is nothing. They don't give a crap.
No.
Here's $500,000. $500,000 for a first-round draft pick? Are you kidding me? For the number 1 overall pick? I'll take that.
Well, for Adam Silver, when he came in, now, unfortunately, David Stern's passed, but David Stern, he was arrogant. Like, David Stern had a lot of enemies. Why was that?
You have to.
Yeah. And so Adam Silver comes in as the good guy. And what is happening right at that time? Well, the LA Clipper owner is a racist. Shame, shame, you're out. And everybody applauded. My gosh, that's leadership. No, that's just business. The guy's a racist. Get him out.
That's right.
So you shouldn't be giving him credit for that. What has Adam Silver done in his tenure? Because I'm not going to give him a cookie for tossing out Donald Sterling.
No, and I'm not going to give him a cookie for finding these teams. Leadership is calling the owners and saying, here are the facts. Our league continues to decline in popularity. We are losing ground. We are losing ground because you don't want to win games. You're benching your stars. You're not playing your stars. You've embraced tanking. You have a losing culture. Win games. Get it together.
We're losing less and less interest in this league.
Totally.
Yeah. And if you're an NBA fan and you disagree, let us know. But I don't.
No, the players come and go as they please. There's a gambling thing that we haven't talked about. There's all kinds. Yeah. There's all kinds of black eyes on the NBA right now, and I'll put it right on the commissioner. I'll say Adam Silver is a weak leader. A weak leader. You need to go in there, and you need some of that arrogance that Stern had. You need to go toe-to-toe with some of these owners. You need to chest up these players and say enough. No load management. Knock it off. You get paid millions to play this game. Go play. Go win. Make it competitive. Nobody wants to see you tank. Nobody wants to see you get benched. Nobody cares about what your position you're drafting next year. Stop it. Weak leadership, weak league. They're getting what they deserve, which is continual decline in interest and viewership of their product.
Tom in Rochester at 866-4FAN, 866-432-6. Hey, Tom.
Guys, love the show as
Thanks.
always. And, you guys couldn't be more spot on. We're talking about some of the greatest athletes on the planet, and really no one cares. I mean, unless you got a rooting interest for a team or some marquee matchup, no one just turns in to watch Milwaukee versus X. It just doesn't happen. College football, people tune in and watch. I know the season's long, but I think the point about competitiveness, desire to win, I mean, tune in some of these games, you're done watching in 5 minutes. There's no effort. There's no attempt to even play basketball. No one cares. The coaches don't care. The owners don't care. And it would never happen in a million years. And I'm just going to stay, because I know it's not going to happen. I'll just stay. It would be wonderful if they had something like relegation. Like, oh, you're so bad, you're out for a year.
That's
You
not
can't compete.
Yeah. Look, there's nothing to say they can't do that right now. And
You have the G League.
Yeah.
You get sent down to the G League.
Yeah, I mean, something, because the anti-tanking and the lot, it's not making a difference.
Yeah.
It's really not making a difference. So short of just saying to some team, you got a timeout, you got to work your way back in, maybe that'll motivate the teams. Or you got to win a certain number of games or you're relegated. I don't know. Figure something out, because you're right. With tremendous athletes left and right in that league, there's no desire to watch just some ho-hum matchup for, at least 1/3 of the league.
Yeah. No, you're right, Tom.
I'm going to make another suggestion, Tom. Great call. When you get to the NHL postseason, hey, oh my gosh, it's fantastic, right?
You're going exactly where I was going to go to follow up on what Tom is saying.
4 games followed by 4 games. The fact that the opening round, best of 7, is stretched out over 3 weekends. And guess what happens more often than not? 1 versus an 8, it's over quick. It's like, who cares? You can't, you need to give us more when you get to
The
that.
postseason in the NBA is a joke. The players that'll miss time, the players that won't give the effort that Tom is talking about, that you see it in the regular season, like, are they even trying? Then when it goes in the postseason, it's like, no, you clowns, this is the postseason. You lay it all on the line. We had the Barkley cut when he was mad at the Pelicans for not giving an effort, and they're all going to Cancun, right? Or they're not going to Cancun, they're going to Galveston, because that's what they deserve for that effort. And I feel like that's a lot of teams in the NBA in the postseason. Come on, guys. It starts with leadership at the top, and it needs to be Silver. I don't even know if you can make it work with Silver. You need a strong leader in there who's going to tell these owners, tell these teams, tell these players, man up, get out there and win, play, give us something that's entertaining, give us effort. You'll see some players do it, but man, we're going to fine you? They don't care about that.
Yeah.
It's a drop in the bucket.
This Sunday will mark the 20-year anniversary of one of the all-time feel-good stories in Rochester. I'm not talking about sports. I'm talking about everything in our town. February 15th, 2006, Jason McElwain, a student for Greece Athena, allowed in the game in the closing minutes. The senior with high-functioning autism did the unthinkable. Some would say borderline miraculous, scoring 20 points in the final minutes of the game. The video goes viral, and you know the story from here. Danger, so many angles on this, and one quote I do remember came from Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley said that Greece Athena head coach Jim Johnson should be fired for not playing J-Mac all season. Fire that coach.
Oh, it's so good. What a moment. We all remember it. And you see J-Mac around, and he's, he's like a little local celebrity.
Well, it's about J-Mac, but I think this is also part of it when you watch that video. I mean, kudos to everybody that was in the gym that night for Greece Athena. It's a story about acceptance.
The coach is the guy. It starts with the coach, right?
Yeah.
You talk about leadership. We were just talking about poor leadership in the NBA. Coach Jim Johnson, unbelievable leadership, because you got everybody in that team, everybody unified and galvanized. We're going to give him a shot. What do you say? Absolutely. Let's go. And when he goes in there and he keeps dropping bucket after bucket, and you see the team.
And they're feeding him the ball.
You see them just going nuts and knowing, like, this is miraculous. This is unbelievable. Everything else goes out the window. That's teamwork. That's leadership. That's a community. that kind of is what we are. That's our community.
Yeah, and it was one of those stories where even at that time 20 years ago, we had cell phones, but we didn't have the video to upload and everything else like that. It's the student manager that they give the feed to the local affiliates. And everybody's like, oh, my gosh, what a story.
Yeah.
And then it goes up the chain. And then like a week later, it's like people are like, hey, did you see this? Did you see it?
Hanging out with the president, and Magic Johnson, and Peyton Manning, and everybody else.
I think, look, and look, if you live on the west side, J-Mac, probably you bumped into him once or twice.
See him all the time.
Yeah.
See him all the time.
Yeah, so, look, if you're Greece Athena, student at that time, it's kind of a weekend that I guess our whole town can kind of celebrate.
I'll put money on me seeing J-Mac here in the next few days. And when I see J-Mac, I'm going to shake his hand and I'm going to say, hey, buddy, congratulations. Happy anniversary.
I saw him at the Empire 8 lacrosse championships last, and I said, hey, J-Mac, what you doing? I'm working, Gene. You should try it. I'm like, oh.
J-Mac! Wow.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks.
Ooh, put you right in your place, Gino.
Yeah, like
he doesn't know the hustle of Gene Battaglia.
No, J-Mac,
no idea.
J-Mac does a good job right now. Like, he goes around and he'll cover high school athletes, and that's great. Doing his thing. College football, 12-team playoff this coming season. That we know. Feels inevitable, right, that it's going to get expanded. But I'm not talking to 16 teams. The Big Ten is circulating a memo that lays out a 24-team college football playoff, how it would look like, including the elimination of conference championship games, basically 23 plus one subdivision team, a weekend on campus by subdivision, not Power 6, I should say. In this format, the top 8 teams would receive byes. The whole idea here is this is what the Big Ten wants. The SEC says, no, we want 16.
Can you make up the money you're going to lose with the elimination of the conference championship games?
Yes.
Yeah.
The conference championship games are a 0 right now.
They don't mean anything.
No. Like, are you going to go out to Indianapolis or Atlanta like, yay? No, it will decline over time, that 13th game. Just get rid of that.
Which way am I leaning here, Gino? Which one do you think I would prefer to have, the 16 or the 24 team?
I'm right, Danger. Give me more. Give me
It
24.
doesn't matter. Honestly, they're the same because if 8 teams are getting a first-round bye.
I'm doing everything, by the way, to piss you off today. I don't know why. Like, I'm making fun of your math skills.
Well, you can. I'm not that bright.
Pig.
I'm not that bright, and I am greedy. I want more action. I was the one saying, I can't wait for the 12-team playoff, and you were like, no, this is going to be terrible. Has it been terrible? It's been fantastic. The games have not been close, but the playoff itself,
all right,
good stuff.
Okay, to your point, Miami is a 10.
Yeah.
Going on that run.
Yeah.
How did Nick Castellanos go from being a feared part of the Phillies lineup to persona non grata? Basically, the Phillies said, hey, we're not going to have you around. The Phillies releasing him today. We have one piece of the missing puzzle, this courtesy of the outfielder himself. And this happened last September. Castellanos pulled by the manager, defensive replacement for a game in Miami. Not a big deal, right? You wouldn't think. Well, Castellanos wasn't happy about it. The outfielder comes back into the dugout with beer. Now, the teammates didn't let him have a sip. He was benched the next game as punishment.
So he brought beer in for everybody or just for himself?
He brought a few cold ones, and I don't know. See, I want to know more about this story. Like, who said, what are you doing? And probably because it's a game in Miami. We're not paying attention to this.
Oh, my God, that's fantastic. That's what we need. I mean, that's old school, right? Like, remember the days on the NFL sidelines where you see Len Dawson choking down a dart?
There's a video of, like, Barry Switzer on this. Like,
drinking a Fresca.
Jim Leyland, Tigers manager, smoking away.
Yeah, man. Come on. Let's go back to that. That was fun. Dug out with a beer. What is he? What was the manager's name at Bad News Bears?
Oh.
The horrible.
Walter
Matthau's character. Buttermaker?
Buttermaker, yes.
Buttermaker? It's Buttermaker. Does not hold up, by the way. Don't watch the original Bad News Bears where he's slapping kids around the dugout.
That is the worst part.
Drinking beers.
Drinking and driving. Handing out beers to the kids at the end of the game.
Terrible. Yeah, Tanner Tanner gets a beer. Everybody gets a beer, slapping kids around, drinking his beer.
Yankees, why don't you take that trophy? Can't say the rest of it.
Yeah, that's old school. So he's like a regular buttermaker showing up in the dugout with some beer. And, that was it. That was the end of it.
Oh, I kind of want him on the Mets, Danger.
Oh, he is a misfit.
No, I think spice up the rivalry a little bit. Come home, buddy.
Yeah.
It sounds like a headline from The Onion. It's not. It's absolutely true. The NCAA granted Montana linebacker Solomon Tuliaupupupu
Love that name.
a 9th year of eligibility. How is that even possible? Tuliaupupupu started at USC in 2018. Injuries forced him to miss the first 3 years. 2020 was the opt-out. The bottom line, Danger, he played in 2022, 24, 25, and now he's going to play in 2027, even though he enrolled as a freshman in 2018. Like, how many degrees would you have by this point? Are you still working on your bachelor?
Yeah. He's Laszlo Holyfeld in Real Genius.
Yeah.
He's Gutter in PCU. Gutter is a tool. He's the guy that's just always around campus, and you can't get rid of him. 9 years of eligibility.
9 times.
Good for you. It's Montana football. All he has up there. Great show today. Lots of fun. If you missed Jim Riley with his 2026 MLB preview or Don Stevens, check us out in the free-to-download Odyssey app or wherever you get your shows. Search out the Sports Bar. We are back Tuesday. Gino is back Tuesday with Matt Perino and more. Enjoy your weekend on the Fan Rochester. Thanks for listening.
You're listening to the Sports Bar with Danger and Battaglia.
95.7 FM and AM 9.